Right, folks, now and again, you know I address messages that I've had in the comment section. I had one last night, so I'm going to quickly run through it. I think it was from a lady called Joanne. She gave an opinion on something which I totally disagreed with, and I sort of explained why. I'll go into a slightly more detailed one on here and give a few facts that she may or may not hear within this message. But she wasn't being nasty in any way, shape or form, and I certainly wasn't back. She said something about the channel and the way she thought it was going. I think she's seen the video that celebrated the fact that we got to 5,000 subscribers. And I brought up the point that the last 2 or 3 months have been really, really slow, really, really quiet with views and subscribers, with both. I don't think it's anything to do with the content within the channel. I think it's because the content has been sparse. There's not been as much as normal because there's not much happening out there. But the biggest problem has been, as I said in that video yesterday, is the fact that I went to Tenerife for a long time, for 3 weeks. Virtually no output while I was there. The output I put out there was just talking about Tenerife, which didn't float everybody's boat, so not many people watched it. Based on that, YouTube hold your videos back even more. You really struggle to get a channel going again when you've had a few weeks away. And then just before Christmas, I've moved house. Didn't expect to be suspending the channel, but I had no internet for over a week and I had about 8 days with no messages. That really, really put me on the back foot, and YouTube have been pushing nothing. Now, as it turns out, in the last 2 or 3 months, I've put out a good few videos to do with the grooming gangs and the scandals that are going on. I put out a good few after Oldham, after what happened in Oldham about 2 weeks ago. Everybody was talking about it. It's on the TV, it's on the radio, it's in the press, it's all the way over the internet. So the things that I talk about, because what's being most talked about out there, I have a view on and an opinion on as well, and I've heard them views and opinions. Now, as it turns out, the biggest video I've ever had watched happened just before Christmas time, and it was about, I think, Tommy Robinson and grooming gangs. I didn't cover it because I'm a staunch supporter of Tommy Robinson's. I am massively against grooming gangs. I'm against anybody that hurts any of our kiddies. I don't care what colour the kiddies are. I don't care what colour the perpetrators are. But if I hear anything about grooming gangs, I'm all over it. And the fact that Tommy Robinson's been against grooming gangs all the time and tried to bring it in the public media, I'm grateful for. I think he's done a great job there. He may have other failings. He may have done other things wrong in the past. He may have seen the error of his ways. He may not have done. He may be somebody decent. He may be a fraud. I'm not so sure he is, but I don't know enough of the facts to know either way. But the more I see and the more I read, I think there's more good in the fellow than bad. That might make some folks unhappy with that opinion of me. It might make some folks pleased. I'm not doing it for anyone's opinions. That's just where I am at this moment in time. I firstly knew nothing about the guy. Then I was sat on the fence. Then I started to get off the fence and more into Mr. Robinson's camp. I say more into. I'm not saying I'm wholly there, but more into. That video was watched before Christmas time by over 100,000 people. By far and away the biggest video I've had. I think the next biggest video I've had was something to do with Philip Schofield. Again, all stuff in the media. Now, that video, I think I said at the time, earned me about 35 or 40 quid. But it'd been watched by now 250,000 people. If I'd have put a video out that had been watched by 250,000 people, and it was 4 or 5 minutes long, I think if you get a video over 8 minutes, you earn more money. But also you earn more money if it's about a subject that the advertisers are going to love. If I'm doing a travel video or something like that, the advertisers lap it up and you get a higher rate. There's somebody out there that I follow that does stuff on electric cars. You get an even higher rate because electric car advertisers are all over his stuff. They're advertising in the ad breaks electric cars because they know a lot of people are watching and they know they're watching something about electric cars. When you cover something like rape or grooming or murder or anything like that, YouTube say it isn't advertiser friendly, that many advertisers will not like it, and for that reason they hold back on your money. Now, to be honest with you, in some instances I get that, but in many I don't. I mean, I can't understand, and this is talking to YouTube as much as what Joanne said yesterday, because I'm going to tell you in a minute what I've earned off the latest video that I think Joanne mentioned. I see things like this. If I'm an advertiser advertising any product whatsoever, and somebody, let's say he's calling Pakistanis, Indians, those from the Asian continent, Muslims, Sikhs, whatever religion, whatever it may be, I'm not going to be over keen on advertising. If somebody's calling any of those peoples, any of those religions, and I can see at the same time as calling them, they're basically racist people, they're haters and whatever else, there's absolutely no way I'm going to want to advertise. But if somebody's doing a video saying that this has just happened in Oldham or Preston or Barrow-in-Furness and you need to know about it, or it's happening in one of these places and the BBC aren't running it or ITV aren't running it, but these people have just been jailed for doing this 20 years ago, or in the case of like the one in Scotland only 3 or 4 days ago, where 7 people got jailed, all white, I'm guessing all Scottish, again for grooming young girls. They even tried to kill one. I was all over it straight away. There's no racism in me whatsoever. But I've done a lot on the Asian grooming gangs, or Pakistani grooming gangs, Muslims, whatever they may be, only because in this country for the last 25 or 30 years, it's been covered up and brushed under a carpet. And many people have turned a blind eye, many people, and I think it's shameful, it's woeful, it's wrong. If I'm an advertiser and somebody's doing that kind of video, wanting to tell folk about what's happening on our doorstep to our children, usually white children, but the colour, as I say, doesn't matter, they're still children, they're still our children collectively, that isn't going to stop me advertising. I'm not going to have a problem putting an ad out with that, because somebody's just telling the truth about what's happening. That's showing that he or she cares about what's happening and they care for our children. YouTube don't look at it like that, so they penalise you. Now, I put another video out last week, I think it was. Took a day and a half to do anything, and then all of a sudden, over a day, it went through the roof by my old standards, on my standards. It got watched by about 6,000 people, which isn't massive in any way, shape or form. Virtually every person I follow on YouTube, and apart from one of them, none of them are ginormous channels, every video they do gets watched by 8, 10, 20, 30, 40,000 people. Every single video. I've probably had 4 that's been watched by over, say, 30,000. I am not a big channel. Not by any means, but the video I put out about a week ago, as I say, got watched by 7 or 8,000 people. It was over 8 minutes long, it was about 12, 13 minutes long. It's done so well, because I'm not the cleverest soul in the world with the analytics and all this kind of stuff, but I found it was watched. Say it was 12 minutes long, it always shows you with a video what's the average watch time of everybody that's watched it. Now bear in mind about 7,000 people have watched it, let's say it was 12 minutes long. I think the average watch time was about 10 or 11 minutes. Now, people don't stay with the video that long. It's very, very, very rare. You know, it's 80% of the video they've stayed with or longer than that. Especially with somebody like me, who doesn't look great, I keep mentioning the eyes, who doesn't look great, an old has-been, operating out of a bedroom. See, I've given it away, I keep saying it's a studio. It's just a bedroom, that's all it is. With a mirror here and stuff that women use to make themselves look better. It don't work. And all boxes and this, that and the other over here. You know, for the fact that people are watching it for 10 or 11 minutes, there's something about the video and the interest therein. Now, this person, I think she was called Joanne, said, because I said I was getting less people watching and whatever else, said, well, maybe if you go back to the same content as before, you're doing too much content now to do with Muslims and grooming gangs and whatever else, and you've got all the racist knuckle draggers following you. Well, I think I replied back to her in a nice way, and I said, look, I'm not calling anybody knuckle draggers. Yes, there are racists. If some people have put in the comment section stuff that looks very, very, very racist. I am not racist at all. If I think they're putting something in there that I don't agree with and is really bad, I'm not going to get into an argument with them or tell them I don't agree with what they've said. I never ever wipe a comment. I never have to. Thus far, I don't ban folk. I let them comment if they want to. It's that kind of channel. Everyone's welcome to come on board and comment. But I just don't answer them back because they want air and I don't give them air. So if anyone puts anything in the comment section that I find to be really racist, they just don't get an answer. But if somebody puts anything in there that I really agree with and think's important, then they do. There was a lady, I think again last night, said, and I thought it was a brilliant idea. She said something like, have they got a hotline so anybody at this moment in time that's being groomed, anybody, by Muslims or whoever it may be, can phone somewhere and somebody can look into it? I said, do you know what? I don't think they have, but if they have, I don't know about it, but they certainly should have. And if they've not, somebody needs to seriously look into it. And to be honest with you, there may be one out there. But if there isn't, I thought, what a fantastic idea. Because that needs doing. Because what you've got over the last 25 years with all these councils, you've got social workers and police from that area turning a blind eye. If we get a central line where these young children can ring, and let's say it's policed or overlooked by somebody like Maggie Oliver, who to me is an absolute superstar. If they were given the authority by the government to go into any child in any council and investigate it themselves, maybe with independence, because you've got all people now that have been caught up in the grooming saying we want an independent inquiry, not a centralised one, we want an independent, a countrywide one, and many are agreeing with them. Why can't we also do it where centrally there's a centre where if you feel you're being groomed, you can report to, that isn't on your doorstep, where they don't know you, where you can give them your details and they can send people in from outside to come and look into what's happening and trying to break up these rings and arrest the right people. That's a brilliant, I mean, I've expanded that there, but that's a brilliant idea. Anyway, going back to what Joanne said, I do message folk back. She said, well, I'll change for the next couple of weeks and not do the grooming stuff and anything else and see how the channel goes, see if it improves. And I messaged back straight and said, no, I won't do that. Because I said, what I do is, if I see something in the news, regardless of what subject it's about, it can be anything. It can be grooming gangs, it can be Muslims, they can be white, like the Scottish gang I reported 2 days ago. Everything gets reported on here. I do a lot to do with gender. I do a lot of things that's going to get me in hot water with certain people. I do a lot to do with gender, a lot to do with sexual orientation, a lot to do with politics, although I'm not a politician and I don't follow a party as such. I comment on your Badenochs and your Starmers and your Farages. And then I do stuff to do with sports, especially horse racing, football and rugby league, but other sports as well. I do a hell of a lot about what's on the TV and what's happening on the TV, movies, music, media. I do anything and everything. I mean, it's the channel's not 2 years old still. I think we're on 4,100 videos. It's unheard of. On a busy day, I'll get 15 or 16 out. On a normal day, like at least 4, 5 or 6. There's not as much to report. So there's loads of content there. I do it on anything. But if I see a story that I think needs to be told, I tell it. And if it happens to be about a grooming gang or anything like that, I tell it. And it's just so happened that at this moment in time, over the last 3 or 4 weeks, there's been more and more and more of it. And that's basically it. But just to let Joanne know this as well, and it's important that you all know this, that video, as I said, had been watched by about 6 or 7,000. It might be 8,000. I've not done my homework, just say it's 7,000. The bulk of them have watched it for 11, 12 minutes, so it's well over the 8-minute threshold. Like I said to you, YouTube pay you less per watch when it's about a subject that they're not keen on, and they're not keen on this. As of last night, let me just tell Joanne and others of that may have a comment to make what I've made on the video, because a lot say I'm doing it for views and for money. Well, at the moment, up to now, with 7,000 people looking, I'd made, as of last night, 92 pence. Not pound, pence. 92 pence. That's for a fair bit of time. A lot of effort, because that day I put a lot of effort and do every single day. I put 4 or 5 hours into this every day, even a 3 or 4 minute message. The messages you see now have 3 or 4 hours work behind them every single day. I've made 92 pence. Will I keep putting videos out like that if I hear things for 92 pence or less at a time? Yes, I will. Yes, I will. Yes, I'm getting more views on that video. I've done others since then and got virtually no views because I say YouTube are pushing nothing. On that video, I gained a lot of subscribers, again, about 80. I'm happy to have them on board, but I'll say this now, and the odd one of them might say this. They're no good to me. I'm not saying they're not the kind of subscribers I want. I want all kinds of subscribers. But the bulk of them don't press the notifications. So that's a subject that they're keen on, which is why they've subscribed. I might put 3 more videos out on that subject this week. They won't see them. If they click notifications, they would, and they'd come back and watch them, and that'd help me get more watches, which is great. The subscribers look good and it matters. I've gone past 5,000, I'm over the moon. But it's the views where you make your money, and I'm here to make money. But when it's views on a subject that YouTube doesn't like, and this is a subject, you don't make any money. But what I want from subscribers is more subscribers to watch more videos of more different subjects. And most of the subscribers that have subscribed to that video, say 80 of them, won't watch the other subjects I do anyway. They'll watch the subjects to do with politics and grooming and whatever else if they knew I was doing them. But because at the same time, they're doing a tick to say subscribe, really just to say thanks for putting the video out. Not to say that they're going to follow the channel. Not to say that they're going to look at a lot more videos. If they were going to, they'd also click the, whatever I said before, notification video. And that way they'd know what content's coming out and how to watch it. And I know that's a fact because the biggest video I did, I got over 1,000 subscribers for. So that's 1,000 of me 5,000. But if they were avid watchers, I'd be getting loads of views on every video now, because over them 1,000, if say 400 of them were watching nearly every video I did, every video would get pushed by YouTube and I'd be flying now, but I'm not. So I know that all those subscribers have come on board. I know they're not helping the channel. But I'm pleased to have them, every single one of them. Don't worry about that. I'm over the moon to have them all. And I want more subscribers. But I also want more watches. But I also, with the watches, I want paying better off YouTube. But I'm not going to get it for those kind of videos. But I'm still going to put them out because I think there's people out there that don't know about what's happening and they need to know. And that's why I put them out there. So, Joanne, I hope that's answered it fuller than before. And I hope you understand where I'm coming from. I've got people that watch my horse racing videos. You probably aren't into horse racing, Joanne, that love the horse racing videos. I'm getting less and less watching on them lately, but that'll come again as the season progresses. And there's lots of people I cover that aren't doing much at the moment. I was getting lots of watches there. They've died a bit. But I've got people that watch them say, why do you do this other rubbish? Why do you do TV stuff? We're not interested in that. And I say, yeah, but you're interested in what you like. Just watch what you like. Don't watch the rest. There's people that like the TV stuff. There's people that like the grooming gang stuff. There's people that like the other sports stuff. I try to cater for everything and everybody. If I see a subject that interests me, or a subject that I like, and there's a story about that subject I like, I cover it. If I don't like the subject or I don't like the story, I don't cover it. But I am not covering any subjects for subscribers, for views, or for money. I hope that that video, Joanne, that you've mentioned, and the one that we talked about that came out 3 or 4 days ago, that's got watched by 7,000 people, proves that that isn't the case. Because nobody that I know would do all the work I do for 92 pence. And that's all I earn from it. And that is the truth. It might have gone up over £1 now, I've not looked today. But as of late last night, it was 92 pence. Okay, I love you and leave you. And I'll catch you everybody tomorrow.